welcome back to another tour here in Chelsea Design Quarter, London. I'm going to let this gentleman introduce himself so that I don't butcher his name and the company name with my very Irish accent.
So, hi Brian, my name is Jean Frédéric Nothomb and I'm the founder and general manager of Argile Peinture. We are paint manufacturers. The company is French, everything's French, the factory, the company, except me, I'm from Belgium. And we manufacture high-end design, high decoration paints for projects, be they residential, be they hotel, hospitality, museum, scenography, etc., etc.
So you're a relatively new brand to the scene, and you're in the process of opening your wonderful showroom here on the King's Road. Tell me a bit about sort of what drove you to setting up this brand and offering this product.
I've been in the painting industry for about 25 years, for a big group first and on my own. And a few years ago, I wanted to go. I was very much in technical type of paints, trade paints, and I thought there was a market that existed in the high decoration. Farrow and Ball being cut that. The English manufacturers being the leaders in that particular segment. So we decided with Pierre Bonfi, who's my partner, who's an artist, colorist, creator of materials, to take his best color compositions and my best formulas of paint and create Argile. The philosophy of it being that we try to have a timeless proposition of color issued from nature with the best possible trade paint for the project.
How many colors do you currently have, available?
184 colors. We have a philosophy that nature doesn't make mistake. In French we say, I know you like French, so la nature ne fait pas de faute de goût, which means things in nature are right. So we don't create colors. Colors exist. We kind of go in the nature. We select colors. We organize them.
You're inspired by the earth.
We're inspired by different areas of nature, and through these thematics, we create collections which we bring as a tool for working for designers for their projects. So when we started with a earth color collection, which is this box
collection here,
with 128 colors of the earth. The idea being that they go well together, and also that they are sourced in the sense that a color is not only a color, it's also a place. And that gives storytelling elements.
There's a name to every...
So there's a name to everything, but it's not just a name we imagine in a marketing meeting. It's a name because it comes from there. So you have green from Veneto, you have red from Kyoto, etc., etc. Jaune de Sienne, so different colors. And because they all come from the same biotope, they all mix themselves and are harmonious when you use them together. So we brought these 128 colors of the earth as a box for working the colors for designer, where you have a swatch, and when you have individual cards.
The larger cards available.
The cards for each color, which, if you show them, are not only to see the color in a larger perimeter format, but also to work. That means you can work on a table and decide to assemble whatever combination. And when we train people on the color combination, we say to them, take 3 colors without, close your eyes.
And just see how they...
Invariably, they go well together.
Just testing that theory now.
Invariably, they will go well together, plus or minus. Voilà, so that's the first point. We bring colors from nature. It's like we're a bridge from nature into the interior design. We bring a tool for working and for creating for designers, and that by doing that with our colors and with our philosophy, they also are able to tell a story to their clients and to make sure their client understand where these colors come from and why they picked these colors for such or such a project. So we have a earth collection color at the moment. We have a vegetal
collection, which is the smaller box here.
56 colors from the vegetal world, from barks, from mushrooms, from leaves, etc. And we're working 2022 on a sky color collection of 64 colors. So
wow.
that's the environment which we're trying to bring to our client and friend designers.
And beyond the collections you have, do you do bespoke color treatments and?
We can. For example, in the UK, we did the paint and paper exhibition for Picasso at the Royal Academy of Art. And there, the curator and the scenographer asked us to do bespoke colors for the exhibitions. We create 3 blues and 1 red, and repainted the 10 main rooms of the Royal Academy.
Must have been a very interesting and inspiring project to collaborate on.
Yes, on many levels. The color, the bespoke, and the work with the Picasso Foundation.
Yeah, and the team within that are very inspiring as well.
From the Royal Academy, but also the product. Because when you have millions, hundreds of millions of pictures on the wall, worth of pictures on the wall, the support, the wall on which you put it, has to disappear, but give the ambiance of the collection of pictures of Picasso in that particular case. We did Charles I 2 years before at the same Royal Academy of Art. And so it's a real technical test as well, because to take the light for the pictures, for the films, for the visitors, we have to be as matte as possible. We have to increase as much as we can the pigment in the formulas, so that it just disappears, except from the color vibration that it will give to the viewers.
A topic that we see coming up over and over again is sustainability with our residential clients. Tell me about the sustainability qualities of the product.
Alors, that's my favorite subject,
Okay.
thank you. We have 2 ranges of product. We have the highest eco-friendly acrylic-based, what I call classical range of paint. They're all A+, COV, below 30, blah, blah, blah. So top of the range. And we have a second collection of formulas range, which we call the range Nature, which are biosourced organic resins made from colza, linseed, and sunflower, where we're 97% biosourced renewable materials. So we think, in France at least, but I'm convinced it's the same in the UK, that we are in the top 2 or 3 the paint manufacturers without acrylic. Acrylic is the binder, but it comes from petrol.
Okay.
So we have paint that are completely natural. One little story, for example, we've opened in Shanghai, and the Chinese are very ecology-minded, because they're told that that's what they have to do. But also they're getting into that process. And so somebody said, well, then there's no more petrol, so you could, it's all natural, you could eat it. So I put my finger in front of 100 wholesalers coming to meet us, and I ate some paint. I told them not to do that every day at breakfast, but I knew there was no risk, and it's a clean product. Okay.
Well, it's amazing, and the industry needs leaders like you and the company to make the necessary changes to create a better future for the next generation. Durability is another topic that comes up over and over again with clients. So wipeable surfaces, paint finishes that they can easily touch up if they need to. You know, inevitably with kids and pets and busy lifestyles, especially in sometimes smaller spaces in the UK, walls scuff, walls mark. What's the durability like on the products?
It's as good as the technology permits today. That means we have shine levels that go from deep matte to high satins. Of course, the higher satin you are, the more washable or wipeable you are, and the less stains will remain. We now manufacture daily matte products, not deep matte, but matte products, real matte products with 2 sheen level, which are completely washable, wipeable. So the technology today permits, both in the acrylic range and in the nature range, to have a high, how do you say, scrubbability resistance.
Yeah. Almost like what we would refer to with fabrics, the rub count, to make sure that it was durable.
So we have that, and we have it in every sheen level with some special products for high resistance. Voilà. Please remember, as I said, as we began, we've been manufacturing paint for 30 years, mainly for the trade. and for the industrial side of it, Argile being the top brand we have. And so we use the technology from the floor, from the walls, from the nuclear, we make nuclear paints, all these technologies through our research and development, we use them to bring them into decoration.
And I guess that really is an important point to make. It's not just a new startup with no experience or no fountain of knowledge to pull from. There's a lot of experience, there's a lot of R&D that has been done with previous brands, and you've brought all of that information to the table and created something exquisite.
We come from the world of the big paint manufacturers, and we're playing with Argile in the field of designer brands, who most of them have wonderful proposition, colors, etc., but who come from, they just do that. And so we try to take from our other markets the relevant technologies, formulation, raw materials, quality control, to bring a top trade level quality to designer and decorating markets.
And for people who haven't come across the brand before, what would you recommend as the first step to getting to know the brand? Is it a visit to the showroom here? What online presence, website? Where would you say to go to find out the history?
Well, nothing beats human relations. That's what we think. We have a story to propose. We know where we come from. We know that we are obsessed by one thing: projects, projects, and projects. And projects means a reality. So it's, of course, you can go on digital. Of course, you can read the material we can send people. Of course, you can see the swatch or the box or buy them or come and see them here. But what's important is to have a conversation about the project, because the project of Mr. X and the project of Mr. Y is different, even if they choose the same colors. And colors, as you know, does not exist. It only exists because of light. And so the whole complexity of paint, which seems an easy material, is in fact coming from the fact that the same color on this wall or on this wall will not give the same color in the eye of the person watching it. And so it's quite subtle, and that's the job of the designer. That's the skill of the designer. And what we're trying to bring to them is a story to tell, the origin of the colors that we're proposing, and a number of technical, sample, and accompanying elements for them to make the right choice for each project.
Well, I think what you're really doing is, beyond that, is giving the designer or an end user client the tools they need to see the paints in the relevant spaces. Your colleague was talking me through the different sample kits that you have. So there's, the card booklets that show all of the colorways. You have the larger samples, individual samples, but then you have the A4 painted samples, and you also have the reusable adhesive samples that can be used on different walls. And then you have traditional sample pots. But I think that's really important. Some brands are more limited by the tools that they can offer, but this allows me as the designer, if I'm preparing for a client meeting or a client presentation, to have the physical samples on a wall and then immediately pull it off and move it to another wall to show how the light would transition, how it looks in the morning light here, and then what's happening in the morning elsewhere where the light isn't shining on it, because clients quite often don't understand how different colors render in different spaces with different light.
And more to the point, when you choose a color from a collection like this, and you have to choose a color, let's say this one, first your eye will see all the surrounding colors and will have problem concentrating on that. Second, the size of this little post stamp cannot be imagined by nobody on a 30 square meter. The next step is, of course, the cards, and that allows creativity and first validation. The following step is, if you follow me 2 seconds, A4 sample hand painted in the right finishing to give you again a rendering of the paint in a larger format, and we have the same.
And these are wonderful as well for us to be able to put on the mood boards with clients. So when you're layering different fabrics and different materials, it's large enough for us to be able to place it
there.
On the
you're
material.
Starting to have a real idea. And then if you really want to, because I'm a tall guy, but that's the limit I can make.
Yeah,
to be
yeah, you
away
can only
from the
get so
thing.
far away.
So either I need
Yeah.
to put somewhere,
Put
or
those
we
like
have
that.
this peel and stick proposition as well, where we can put the thing on the wall and then go back and be able to see what it will give there.
And this is where you can see it with the lights on, the
With
lights
light on,
off, curtains
exactly.
open, curtains
in the
closed.
morning, in the
Yeah.
afternoon. Then you take it back, and either you put back in your file, or you go to another wall, and then we see that on this wall, this particular color will have a different, etc.,
Yeah.
etc.
It looks completely different as well.
We're a service company, and our job, because we're obsessed by projects and all the stakeholders of projects, which for me are of two nature, the owners of the project and the advisors of the project, be they
Designers,
color
architects, consultants,
exactly,
yeah.
etc. And our job, of course, is to make a color proposition. Of course, the vehicle of our color is paint and has to be of the highest standards. But at the end of the day, our job is to make the project timeline, the project from A to Z, as easy as possible for the designer, and therefore for his client.
Amazing. Well, I know your colleague and you are going to show us some of the paint mixing techniques downstairs here in your studio. So let's maybe have a look at that.
Let's go.
Thank you. So Simon's my latest victim, and Simon has very kindly agreed to show us the process of mixing some of their paints. Simon, what are we mixing?
Thank you, Brian. Yes, well, basically today I have to make for a customer terre de lune, which is translated into earth of the moon or sand of the moon, clay of the moon, and we're going to be mixing it with the machine. I've sorted out a few things, so you can see it's all computerized here. You have Argile terre de lune, the particular paint lac satiné intérieur. So and I've checked that the quantities are correct, very important. Don't get it wrong, because otherwise we're in real trouble. So now I'm just going to take the pot, open it up, that's always important. Take the pot.
You'll only make that mistake once.
Yes. Yes, or there could be a warning on the way.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm raising the platform to the required, just make sure, the required level, so that's all ready. Just check it's all centered perfectly. Yes, that's okay. So all I have to do now is come to the machine, the computer, and press dispense and print.